everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Today's video is about my journey into silicone-free face products and back again. I started breaking out earlier in the summer. I didn't know what it was from, looked into everything it could possibly be, and I read on a blog that someone had said that the silicones in products, while they don't normally affect your skin in the heating or dry skin season, that when it suddenly gets hot and humid in the summer, that they can cause clogged pores and some blemishes to appear. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's got to be it, because that's the only thing that changed. It suddenly got hot and humid, and so let me give that a try. So I did this epic journey into silicone-free products. Well, let me tell you, it is not easy to find products that are 100% silicone-free out there. Silicones are in everything these days. They're in all your primers, face lotions, moisturizers, sunscreens. Most of the makeup is made up of silicone. Shampoo and conditioner is mainly silicones. You are slapping so many silicones on that it would be frightening if there was something wrong with them. Fortunately, there's not. As far as I know, no causal link between silicones and, any kind of a health hazard. So this was purely from I'm breaking out, I'm not sure why, let me give this a try standpoint. And even if you Google, can silicones cause breakouts? Some people will say absolutely not. They are non-comedogenic, they don't cause breakouts, they sit on top so they don't clog your pores. Anyway, it wasn't the answer, because here I am 4 months later and my skin is still breaking out. I tried a bunch of products and I thought, what the heck? I will review them for you in case for some reason you are on a hunt for silicone-free products. At least I can show you the ones that I've tried and let you know what I thought of them. In general, I gotta say, I did not love and was not a fan of the silicone-free ingredients. It's really the silicones in the products that help it to have that nice silky skin feel, so that it glides on smoothly over your face, it dries down to a nice matte finish, which I love. I don't like things that are stiff and greasy feeling, and silicones are really the ingredients that help with that elegant slip, that elegant feel, that things glide over your skin in a really silky way. So while none of these products are bad per se, most of them were not favorites of mine, although there were two that I found to be pretty decent and that I will probably use in the future. All right, so let's start with the sunblocks. I got two sunblocks. One was from Coppertone, and I found this just at CVS. This is a Coppertone Oil-Free Faces SPF 50 Broad Spectrum Sunscreen. This isn't a bad sunblock. I was happy to see one made for the face that was oil-free. It says it's non-comedogenic and won't cause breakouts, and this also doesn't contain any silicones. So no silicones and no oils should be a good thing if you are breakout prone. This has a chemical sunscreen in it, so it contains avobenzone. What I found about it was that it was kind of heavy. When I'm really heavy, that was just one little glob, and look how white my hand is. So there it is, all rubbed in, and let me just wait a few minutes. Okay, so now it's been about 5 minutes, and I just want to show you the finish on that. It's not as shiny as it was the first minute, but it never dries down to a completely matte finish, which is what I look for in a sunblock, especially because in the summer when I'm going to the beach, I really don't wear makeup over my sunblock, but I don't like having that shiny look all day. So while this is an okay formula, non-comedogenic, great, it doesn't dry back to a matte finish like I like. All right, so the next one that I purchased was Super Goop Everyday Face and Body Lotion in SPF 30. And I had really, really high hopes for this one. When I read about it online, the reviews were great. It's a doctor that developed it. It's paraben, fragrance, and oxybenzone free. It's water resistant for 80 minutes. It's oil free. And while it's one of the ones that is not completely silicone free, the silicone that's in this is about 6th on the label. It has avobenzone, so it does have combination of chemical and mineral sunscreen. So really quite a broad spectrum coverage. Now this one also, I said, has the avobenzone smell. Cute little packaging, although you don't get a whole heck of a lot. 1.5 ounces, and I think this was about $15, so a little expensive. All right, let's take a look at the texture of this one. You twist it open, and I'll put it on this hand. So as you can see, this is not as thick as the Coppertone formulation. It goes on fairly clear. It spreads nice and easily. The problem with this one for me is that it always stayed tacky. So my face never felt dry. It always felt sort of damp and weird. It's a little bit dewy, but it's not as shiny as the Coppertone was. but it got shiny later on. So, you know my thing, I wear everything all day so that I can see how it goes, and you know, it might start off matte, but something gets shiny later. I'm not really happy with that. I wasn't in love with it. All right, so let's move on to the regular facial moisturizers. This first one is Yes to Tomatoes Clear Skin Daily Balancing Moisturizer. Now this is all organic and this is paraben free. This is also 100% silicone free. I use this every day as my morning moisturizer slash serum because it does contain vitamin E and a number of antioxidants that I was really excited about. So I had, you know, as usual, I had super duper high hopes for this because it contains lycopene to balance blotchiness and watermelon and red tea to control oil and banish blemishes. So this should be very soothing and very moisturizing. And while I found that it was nice and soothing, I didn't really find that it was all that moisturizing, and I don't really understand why. I love it that it was in this airtight pump packaging. I was like, yes, finally someone has put something with antioxidants in an airtight pump packaging. Like, really, is it that hard? The reason that I found that I couldn't use this is, number one, I just didn't find it to be as moisturizing as my Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Serum. I was a little disappointed in that, but the real reason that I really didn't like it is because of the smell. Now, I'm very sensitive to smells. This smells so sweet and delicious, it makes you hungry all day. It's like a combination of cotton candy and a cake cooking in the oven. It's just delightful. Let me just put some on here. You can see the consistency of it. It's fairly thick. It's not runny. It spread easily, but it didn't seem to absorb very well. It just kind of sat on the surface. Oh, you know what? I even hate the feeling of this one on my fingers. You see the sheen? It was really, had quite a sheen. It was quite shiny, but it's sticky and tacky, and I'm really not enjoying the way my fingers are feeling right now. So I'm just going to go wash my hands before I do the next one. All right, so the next moisturizer is a moisturizer with sunscreen. This is Aveeno Smart Essentials Daily Nourishing Moisturizer with an SPF 30 that is a broad spectrum SPF. Now, this is not completely silicone free. This contains 2 silicones. Let me tell you where they are on the label. 10th and 16th. They're not high up there, and it's not one of those products that is mainly silicones. Now, I think this one I preferred because it says it's oil-free, hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic. Contains vitamins A, C, and E. Another nice airtight pump. That comes out like that. This one has a light citrus scent, which the scent on this one didn't bother me. It's very light. So this one goes on. It feels really light, not greasy. It spreads nicely. It doesn't have that white finish where the other ones, you know, it went on initially white and you had to keep rubbing till you blended it in. But unfortunately, like all the rest, it did stay, you know, a little bit tacky and slightly shiny. All right, so a product that I actually liked a lot was this Pur Minerals CC Cream. This is a broad spectrum SPF 40, and I got it in the color Light. I like the formulation. I like the ingredients a lot. It's in an airtight pump. A lot comes out. You probably don't need a whole squeeze to do your face. It spread really easily, but it had a very light coverage. And it was a little whitish at first. So a lot of the CC creams, they kind of do this gray, ghostly mask thing to start out, which I don't really dig. And then you have to really spend a lot of time blending the edges and making sure it looks good and making sure you don't have any weird spots. I wouldn't wear this on its own, but as a base for wearing underneath light powder, where you just need a little bit of color correction underneath to even out your skin tone, that this actually worked quite well. It goes on kind of whitish at first, as you can see. There's my normal skin tone. But as you can see, it also has evened out a lot of things. But then I found that it did dry down to a semi-matte finish that was actually kind of nice. It doesn't really seem to have a scent. This is an all-physical sunblock, so it's got really good broad spectrum mineral sunblocks in it that are great, especially if you have sensitive skin. It's not really trying to be an anti-ager. It doesn't have a bunch of antioxidants or a bunch of vitamins in it. You know, it's just trying to be a CC cream. All right, the last thing on the hit parade, and my favorite out of all the products, is this Lorac I'm So Sensitive Soothing Face Primer. This is oil-free, silicone-free, paraben-free, and fragrance-free. So if you're into freeness, this is for you. This is a water-based formula, and it is infused with antioxidants, vitamins, and plant extracts to help soothe and smooth your skin. It's sort of a semi-sheer, whitish cream, but as you can see, it's not runny. It's got a nice consistency. When you rub it around, it feels very, almost like a gel, a cross between a gel and a cream. So it's not heavy, it's not greasy. And as you can see, it leaves a nice matte finish. It's terrific. It's fragrance free, which means they haven't added any fragrance, but it does have a slight scent. And I would say it's kind of aloe-y. This does dry down to a really natural looking sort of semi-matte finish, and it acts as a nice primer. I'm not going to say that it makes my makeup last any longer, because I don't think it does that. But I think it's a super moisturizing formula, so if your skin is dry and overly sensitive like mine from too many anti-aging ingredients, then this is a great product. And it sets up to make a nice smooth surface for your makeup to apply on. And so these are pretty much the only two winners out of all of the silicone-free products that I tried. So I can recommend these two. The others, I think they're okay. They're not like, oh my god, they're so awful, I'm going to throw them in the garbage. But they just didn't have, as I said, that matte, non-tacky finish that I do love in my makeup products and that I've come to expect. So anyway, that is the review of the silicone-free products for today. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.